Hey guys, welcome to the video. So today I'm going to be sharing tips on how you can get signed with a modeling agency. I'm also going to be sharing my story as well, and hopefully you'll be able to learn a thing or two. All right, so with my story first. So I got signed with an agency last year, the same year that I started modeling, and the way that it worked out for me was a little bit different. So when I started out, I was doing freelance. So I was reaching out to photographers and other creatives myself. I would go to social media, go to Facebook groups, Instagram, and just DM these photographers and creatives and express my interest to work with them. Now, as I was doing that, I was also preparing to apply to agencies. So I was, making sure that I was staying in shape, I was working out, I was getting my skincare right. I mean, I always do my skincare, but I was making sure that I was eating right and just kind of getting my mind prepared to do this while I was having fun doing the creations with the different photographers. Now, as I was doing this, I went to Google and I searched for the top modeling agencies in my area. There were a couple of ones that came out, and I went to their site. They typically have a become a model or join button there. So I clicked on that, and then I read the requirements for submissions. And so once I knew the requirements, I went and did the preparations to be able to make the submissions to these agencies. Now, as I was doing that, I was also looking to take modeling classes. Again, you don't have to do this. I just did it because I was in that mode of learning and I wanted to grow and become a better model as quickly as I can. And so I found a couple of modeling agencies that were having modeling classes close to me. And so I signed up with one of them, which eventually turned out to be my agency now. So as I was doing the experience behind and working with other photographers and preparing to apply to this agency, the class that I had signed up for was about 3 to 4 months away from when I first saw it. So it was a good experience for me to get out there, do runway shows, work with other creations, and just kind of get my feet wet. Now, when I started the classes, it was incredible because I was able to amalgamate what I had learned from getting my feet wet in the prior months, as well as what my modeling teacher had taught in those classes as well. They were so useful for me. And after the classes were done, I was able to get a better picture on what the agency offers and the kinds of models they represent, the kind of jobs that they have for those models, if the models actually get jobs. So I was able to get a lot of this information firsthand. And so once the classes were done, I sent them a message to say, hey, I would like you guys to represent me, and just send them a brief history about myself. They already knew me because as part of the classes, we did photo shoots. So they already had my photos. They already knew my personality as well. So they sent me the contract, and then we just kind of settled it from there. So that's how I got signed. Now, you don't have to follow the way that I did it, but there are a couple of tips that I want to highlight that helped me get acquainted fast in this industry. One of the very first things that I would mention, and I mentioned it earlier, is that as you are starting out in this field, there's a lot of excitement that I had the same too, and I still have it. But you want to make sure that you're prepared. You want to put yourself in your best possible state. You don't have to be perfect. That's not the point here. But if you are somebody that wants to do fitness modeling and you know you're not fit, then start getting active. Start preparing for that. Get in shape while you're working to get experience. The next thing that I would say is you do need digitals or Polaroids when you're submitting to agencies. So when you've defined or decided that you want to apply to several agencies, you're going to need photos of you in your natural state. So these are what we call digitals. So you don't have to go to a professional photographer for that one. You can take that one with your phone, You can actually use a tripod and take it yourself, or you can have someone help you. Either way, they're pretty easy, pretty simple, and you don't need to, overdo it or over stress it. Once you have these photos, before you submit them, the next tip that I would say is look at the agencies you want to apply. Look at the kinds of models that they represent. Does anyone look like you? Do they cast models for the kinds of jobs that you want to do? So for example, if you want to do fitness modeling, don't go and apply to an agency that represents models for high fashion or editorial or runway. They're going to reject you, obviously, because that's not the categories that they can represent you in, right? So it's important that as you're finding these agencies, you find ones that actually represent the kinds of jobs that you want to go for. Okay, so one of the key things that you're going to learn in this process is that you're going to apply to some agencies that may not get back to you. Don't be discouraged. Hang in there. If you've done your research on the agencies, the kind of works that they do, the kinds of models that they represent, then one of them will reach out to you. Just have faith and continue the process. All right, so once you've validated the kinds of agencies that you want to submit to, you have your photos, then go ahead and submit the photos according to the requirements that they state. So each agency, they usually state how they want you to take these photos, how they want you to submit these photos. Follow them to a T. Why? Because you want to give yourself a better chance of being signed with that agency as well. Once you have done that, I also recommend that you submit to a range of agencies. So don't just submit to one or two, submit to like 10, to like 20. Don't spam them, but just give yourself more options out there, because sometimes you may get 2 or 3 calling you back, and you want to make sure that you're making the best decision for yourself. All right, and I think that's it. So I hope these tips were useful to you. I want you to know that you've got this. Don't get discouraged if you're reaching out to agencies, you're reaching out to creatives and you're not hearing back. Somebody will reach out to you. There's space for everyone in this industry. So have fun with it. Make sure that you're putting your best self forward, and I guarantee you we're all going to succeed in this. All right, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.